All right, Marissa, what is Rising Legacy's origin story?
If I think back to 2021, such an interesting period in our world and our being in society. Back in 2021, I was in a conversation with a friend of mine who is in the diversity and inclusion space. And we were having a very deep heart-to-heart conversation about leadership and the practice of leadership and the work that I do in training and developing leaders in the corporate world. And she started to ask me some very pointed questions about the purpose of the work that I do and the kinds of um, behaviors I was teaching people to do and expectations around what a leader does and who a leader is. And I started to recognize that I was taking a very blanketed approach, a very general approach to um, employees in the corporate world. And so what that meant to me was I wasn't necessarily having customized, nuanced conversations with women about their leadership and how the curriculum that I was teaching applies to them or how it's different or similar in experience for them. And then I even took it a step further and started to ask myself, well, what about a multicultural woman leader's perspective and experience? And so, these answers or lack of answers gave me a gut response of, wow, what is the purpose of my work? How am I bringing my own upbringing, my own cultural identity to my work in this more general blanketed approach to leadership development? And so I started to think about what else I could do for a community that looks like me, that has similar backgrounds to me, a very multicultural experience of growing up in the United States, and asking myself, what can I do more of to support women leaders like myself? And so I gave birth to my third child, Rising Legacy, as an idea and a learning experience to talk about leadership, to define leadership, to think about leadership legacy for women, multicultural women leaders in a different way, in a safe space where we can have conversations about the experiences we have in the corporate world when serving as leaders. So that's how I gave birth to it from 2021 to the present. It's an ever evolving, and it's not even a project anymore. It's more of my future work.
Great. And we're so grateful that you do it. All
Thank you.
right, let's get into the next question. What are some of the things you're thinking about as we head into 2025?
Mm. So 2025 is going to be an interesting year. Um, there's going to be a lot of societal change, um, leadership in the corporate space, in this marketplace, in the workforce, current workforce. 2025 for me is going to be about giving energy to the things that I can control and really letting go of the things that I can't. And, if I think about where I'm going to be putting my energy, it's going to be in my self-development of looking at my current skill set, looking at my career path, and asking myself about what do I want to do more of. And the answer to that is focusing my energy and control over influencing emerging leaders in the workplace, newly promoted leaders in the workplace to continue to shape their leadership legacies now. Right now, in this pivotal period of change in our country, to begin to write and vocalize what we want out of our own individual leadership experiences and journeys now. So it's exciting for me to continue this work, but I think bringing more consciousness to the effort is really driving my passion in the coming year.
Yeah, and it's such an important message, giving energy to what you can control.
Yes.
Okay. What are some of the challenges that multicultural women face in leadership today?
This year I've spent a lot of time in the classroom with multicultural women leaders due to my Rising Legacy program. And an overall theme that's come out of it, surprisingly actually for me, is the amount of work around self-doubt and inner dialogue that we're having with ourselves is at times surprising and disheartening and worrisome for me. And that thrives, I think, the future of my work. So I think that we, can look at ourselves in the mirror and express a lot of self-doubt, struggle with confidence as we walk into our workplaces. And so, I really want to call attention and bring compassion to this experience that we're all having by saying, how are we recognizing when we are experiencing self-doubt, when we're having this inner dialogue, and be able to change it and switch it and really look at ourselves in a different way by restating these self-doubt statements into positive affirmations that get us to wake up every morning, get us to show up in front of our teams with confidence, maybe not a lot of positive energy because we're experiencing some change or some tough times, but really pivoting that inner message, that inner dialogue to confidently face our days and really taking care of ourselves and setting boundaries to be able to function every day and survive every day, and overcoming that self-doubt.
Yeah, and we know, that is a learned skill, it's yeah, tough, but you need to learn it in leadership. All right, Marisa, we all know that leadership development is important, but you talk a lot about creating a leadership legacy. Can you go into what that means to you?
Um, I really believe in creating a North Star, a vision, a place where I want to end up. And that's what's driven me my whole life. I am a natural planner, so I like to make sure that I have a current vision for myself, maybe at the end, at the start of a year or at the start of a quarter, so that I know that I'm getting somewhere. And so when I think about a leadership legacy, that's really the end point of really my life. So wherever you are in your life journey or your career journey, whether you're at the beginning and the start or you're approaching the end, there's no later time than now to figure out what you want to be remembered by, what you want people's initial response to describe you and the experiences that they've had with you in a conscious way. So I encourage people to just sit down with themselves and a piece of paper or an open document and write down, what do I want to be remembered by? What are my strengths? What are my natural innate abilities that I want to strengthen and flourish in so that I can be recalled as this person, this leader that made a difference in someone's life? And know that we are making marks on people's experiences as they live their lives right now. Why not craft it a little bit more in a very conscious, deliberate way so that that can come out first? It can be someone's first impression of you, first thoughts of you, as they say, oh, they come across their name or they're going to be in a meeting with you. Whatever the interaction is, that leadership legacy, that those themes come to fruition in a very conscious way. And so it is, of course, part of the name of my program and the work that I do, Rising Legacy. that it is an evolving, growing part of someone's life to exhibit and demonstrate a legacy in which they're writing themselves around their leadership. So that's what it means to me.
Love that. Such an important exercise to do. So, okay, now a few fun questions, lighter questions. So, what is your least favorite leadership buzzword?
Least favorite leadership buzzword. Well, I say a lot of them, I'm sure. What happens is we hook on to leadership buzzwords and we throw them out in conversation so that people remember them or they have an emotional response to something that I'm saying. But I'd say one that kind of irks me is the word agile. Let's be agile in the work that we do. I think because I'm a working mother, the word agile is just normal. It's just what I have to do. So I call it survival. My goal every day is to get to the end of the day. Like, okay, let me just make it through right now. And so if I tell leaders, let's be agile, drive agility in our team, to me, it's like, why do we have to call it that? Just call it surviving, getting through the day, and know that we all have so many different roles and responsibilities at work and outside of work that agility, especially in this day and age, is just how we get through it all. So I'd say that.
Love it. It is so true. As women, that is a natural state. So it doesn't need to be
Exactly.
a buzzword. Okay. What was your most memorable moment from this past year?
Um, I'd say this summer, I went um, to a new client to facilitate a Rising Legacy workshop. And, from 2021 to now, 3 years later, it's so interesting to um, dream a dream and many years later, watch that dream come true. And so this summer, I was in a room, a conference room, standing at the head of a boardroom table, looking around this boardroom and seeing a room filled with multicultural women looking at each other, looking at me, working in partnership with one another, having very raw dialogue with each other. And I just was very present in that moment where I really like pitched myself and I said, this is the work that I want to be doing. If I could do this every day for the future of my career, for the rest of my career, I will be so, so happy. And so I think that was just, something that marked my year is the moment I saw the women in this room engaging in such raw dialogue, honest, safe dialogue. I had never seen it before in a leadership classroom like that. So it was just an eye-opening moment of pure, pure gratitude.
There's nothing more magical than doing the passion project that you were put on this earth to do and to inspire in all of us. So thank you. And that's it.